Great. So actually, first what I'd like to do, and maybe we'll start with you, Matt, just because you're first by the podium. Take a few seconds, tell us, help us all understand more about what you're doing today in your current job, driving mobility inside Home Depot, and we'll go down the line.
Okay. Thanks for that warm introduction, Hamish, and for the crowd being here tonight. So my role at the Home Depot is I'm responsible for basically the consumer side of mobile. So what our customers see via mobile web or via our native applications when they reach out to our brand, whether they're at home, on the go, on a job site, in the store. My responsibilities are for those product lines inside the Home Depot. As Hamish mentioned, prior to Home Depot, I spent about 15 years with Gannett and USA Today up in Northern Virginia, where I was responsible for sort of developing the mobile strategy there, dating back a number of years, and developing iPhone applications, iPad applications, and things like that in the media space. So that's really sort of my experience in mobile, and I'm glad to be a part of the panel tonight and looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you. Rob.
Hi, I'm Rob Russell, and for UPS I manage UPS.com worldwide from a content perspective. That's about 120 countries, about 40 languages, and all sorts of combinations of those, and also social marketing, and not the customer service aspect, but the promotional side of it. And also the mobile application, so the native application, the user interface and user experience design also kind of falls within my team. So I think that's about it.
Keith?
Great. Well, I'm not sure how much I could add on to your fabulous introduction, but I will say, just to sum it up, it is all the consumer technology. So you think about our consumer websites or our mobile platforms or our mobile websites. Also our CRM technology and our loyalty platform as a whole. In addition to our contact center, what you consider a service center or a call center, that space. So it's really kind of a 360 view of our consumers, making sure that we're kind of creating that, the key buzzword nowadays, the omni-channel experience, right? So as you flow through the different channels and flow through the life cycle of a journey within our properties, and the consumer touch points are a little more seamless for you, and you actually get the experience that you desire.
Great, thank you. Good. That gives us all a good base set to anticipate, imagine in our own little minds what each of you do day in, day out. And let me just start then on the discussion, thinking here we are, it's June, middle of 2014. I want to kind of set a baseline, where are we at, so that we can then talk in a few minutes about where are you all headed. So if you think back, let's say the last 6 months, not even a year, what's been maybe it's a year, okay, but no more than a year. What have you done in the last year in your business that you've been most excited about from a mobility perspective? And
Want to start?
Okay,
so I'll start. So I would say, over the past year, if I extended it out even maybe 2 years, what we've seen inside Home Depot is, tremendous growth of our digital channel, our digital store, if you will. More and more people are coming to HomeDepot.com, and by extension, Home Depot on a mobile phone, as part of, let's say, a shopping journey, if you will. Some people want to know, hey, what time does the store close, or where is the nearest store to the location I'm at, currently? Do they have the product that I need in stock? What are the reviews for that particular product? Where's that product located in the store? What's on sale at the store? Those are all use cases that I would say, going back a number of years ago, were sort of fringe use cases that are now becoming more and more mainstream. And really what that represents is sort of a slow march or adoption of mobile technologies to your average consumer. We all are in this industry, we know this space, we know what the smartphone penetration numbers are. I think behind those penetration numbers, though, is real adoption. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're seeing is tremendous growth in these channels, and I'm sure my other colleagues on the panel are seeing the same thing. And what that represents to me is an adoption curve that is slightly trailing, let's say, a penetration curve, mm-hmm. but is definitely moving forward and definitely has a lot of momentum behind it.
Great, good. Rob?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of the same thing. I think our mobile application, we've made it a lot easier to use. It's a lot more intuitive. That's one of the things I'm kind of proud of. It is a complicated business. I think receiving a package can be fairly simple, but there's a lot of detail that we could show that consumers sometimes want to see, and sometimes that just makes things more complicated. So I think creating a new interface for the native application is something that we've done recently and with great results. We also have a new iPad application that was launched last year, so you can actually watch your package kind of move across the country. So it's a little more interesting engagement with the brand as well. And I think there's a lot of things going on in mobile in terms of just tracking and alerts. We've also improved sort of the push alerts in a variety of ways, whether it's SMS or push notifications from the app itself, or even automated voice phone calls, and consumers can sign up for those things. They can even track their packages on Facebook if they want. So there's a lot of different ways that consumers can sign up to get alerts about their packages. Obviously, people are shopping online a lot more, but the experience is also improving all the time, and we're providing more and more visibility to people. And a lot of people don't even realize they can do these things, so we're also just increasing the awareness, to your point about adoption, right? Some of these solutions have been around for a while, maybe over a year, but consumers have only realized that is there as a benefit maybe in the last 6 or 12 months. So I think those are some of the areas where we're seeing a lot of progress in the last year.
Great, thank you.
So I'll take it at a high level first, and all I'll say is, within ISG, we've created a win-win scenario, right? So a win for our consumers and a win for ISG, and clearly for our shareholders as well. What I mean by that is we've developed platforms and mobile applications that our consumers are dying for, because so think about the roadside hotels in our business, right? And the Holiday Inns and the Holiday Inn Expresses. We have a lot of consumers that are traveling by car. And the mechanism that they've typically done is not whip out a laptop because they don't have internet connection. They call our contact center or our call centers. And we create a win-win because we're giving them a better experience where they can actually find hotels close to where they're going or right on the road, close nearby where they are. We create a really great win-win scenario for them. And of course, clearly a lower channel booking cost for us that has enabled us to kind of win as well. And overall, we've really started to bake on to that experience. And that experience goes down to when you even get onto the property and the relevant offers that property has to offer to you. So come get a drink at the bar, we have a special, right? We know that you're in our hotel. And even push notifications, maybe a travel alert. Maybe you're going to a country like, recently we had a travel alert in Egypt, for example. And we'll push a notification to you because we know that you're going to Egypt on travel. We want to let you know there's a travel alert. And we're trying to give the tools and the experience to our consumers to make it easier for them to travel with us. It's not just about the reservations, it's about the entire experience as a whole. And that's something that I'm really proud of because it not only helps ISG, but I'm sure many of you in this room travel and online travel, you realize you appreciate somebody actually communicating with you and letting you know what's going on. And I say that's really been a big win for us.
Yeah, I would say the general theme for probably the three of us, and probably for many of your businesses in the audience, is we are continually making our products better. We're finding ways to give the user capabilities to add more levels of control with things like push notifications and more personalization, geofencing technology. And what that I think symbolizes to me is just an overall maturation of products that, look, for four or 5 years ago, the apps that our companies had or the mobile experiences were a little rough around the edges probably. And through a lot of hard work and a lot of sweat equity and a lot of great ideas and a lot of advancements in the overall sort of ecosystem, I think all of our companies are improving our products and probably delivering higher levels of customer satisfaction to our customers, providing greater tool sets and and more functionality, more capability, richer experiences in general. So I think.
And I think it's a great point, Matt. I'm going to say is the better consumer experience you create, the more loyal your customers become, not only to you as a brand, but to the applications that they have on their phone. And by the way, that's another mechanism that we can market to them. And also, if they're opting into things that we can speak to them. So for example, the more they like our apps, the more we can provide a better experience. So for example, if you're at an ISG property, I'm not saying we do this today, but just from a theory point of view is, if you have that application installed, why can't you actually broadcast that you're in our hotel, and so we can actually recognize you, maybe even personalize your experience while you're on the property. And that's something that the customer's going to want, but they have to be loyal to us and want to actually feel like that's something that they want us to do.
But they're also going to want to control that experience.
Absolutely.
They're going to want to interact with a brand on their own terms.
Absolutely.
And it's incumbent on us to build in those levers that allow them to do that.
Yeah.
Not all customers are going to want to be recognized when they walk into a lobby or into a Home Depot, but some will. And we've got to have the technology and the systems and the platforms to be able to, number one, recognize, and then number two, be able to offer that level of control to that customer.
Right, so that's a great lead-in to actually next kind of where I would like you to keep your minds where you're at. But before we go to this next point, let me just mention to our audience online that if you were here in the room, you would have been in the bar earlier, and that's a great thing, because this next question is fueled by the bar, looking to the future. Open up your imaginations. Now you've told us where you're at. Where, you're starting to get into where you want to go. I'm not going to ask you to go out 5 years, because I don't know how far you're planning your technology and budget strategy plans, but however far out you're looking, give us a picture, and let's maybe start picking up where you took us there, Keith. What's the experience going to be like however many years out from now?
So, you think about the overall experience, and today, ISG does a fantastic job of getting you into our property. Whether you book through the website, you book through our contact centers, you book through the mobile applications and the mobile websites, we do a fantastic job of getting you into our properties. We're a franchise organization though. We don't bridge the gap between what you're doing before you get to the property to when you're on the property, and develop and create that consistent experience and continue to connect with you throughout. So where we would like to be is that we are not just getting you onto the property, but we're holding you all the way through your experience in what we call our guest journey, similar to what Matt references as kind of their retail journey and their store journey. We want to create a journey. And so I can envision several years out, right? And I'm not giving any secret sauce away. I know our competitors are looking at the same things. Is you've got this concept of the Internet of Things, right? Internet of Things is a thermostat on your wall. Internet of Things is your TV in your room. I mean, thinking about the concept of having a check. I mean, I would take a poll here, but everybody's going to raise their hand. The last time you actually walked into a hotel room and you knew what channel ESPN was on. You don't know, because every hotel is different. Well, how great would it be for us to have an application to actually tell you what channel ESPN is on, and it automatically lets you know that it's your favorite channel, ranks to the top. Or you can control the thermostat before you even get to the property, or even order room service and have it waiting for you. These are the type of things that we want to get to. And it's going to take some time for us to get there, because, especially in a franchise organization, because, the technology at the property is very, very unique. So that's just kind of a high level.
Let me ask Rob, in the logistics world, what's your view of the future?
Yeah, the word control has come up a lot in the last couple of minutes. You used it a couple of times, and you used it as well. In our world, My Choice is a product that we have for package recipients, and most people don't realize that you can sign up for this service and then you can control your package, right? If it's on your way to your house, you can get fairly narrow windows of time when it's going to be delivered, and if you're not going to be home, you can have it rerouted somewhere, either to a UPS store, even your neighbor, different things like that. So that kind of control in our world really enhances the user experience. You can also leave instructions for the driver. The driver, some people realize this very clearly, but some people don't. The UPS driver is an icon out there. People trust UPS drivers with keys to their house, for them to put packages inside and feed the dog. They are absolutely a huge part of the brand, like nothing I've ever seen. And I've worked for brands like Guinness where they tattooed the brand on your body, right? But UPS, the brand is very centered around the driver, and so we try and leverage a lot of that trust in the application, the trust and the control, being able to control your package. I think in the future, here again, I don't want to discuss anything that some of our competitors might want to leverage, but I can see in the future more visibility for package recipients, right? You'll be able to open your app and see your package coming to you rolling down the street. There are privacy issues with that. There are security issues, right? The truck can be held up. There's a lot of reasons why that's not in place today, legitimate reasons. But I can see us potentially sorting those out over the next 3 to 5 years.
Good. Anything to add, Matt?
I'd say it's very difficult in this space to have a crystal ball for 5 years out. Very, very challenging. But what I would say is, a couple of things that, are interesting to me are, obviously proximity and proximity marketing. I think biometric authentication is pretty interesting to me. Some of the recent things that were talked about at WWDC. There's going to be a lot of change that happens over, the next couple of years, both on the hardware and software side. And the thing that's fun about this is really sort of understanding what's going to start to get critical mass. Voice is another thing. A lot of big bets are being made in the voice space by some of the major players on the West Coast, Google and the like. Voice search technology is improving and making quantum leaps all the time. And, just different ways that people use and discover different things that their phone can do to make life easier for them. That's kind of a journey, and it's going to be interesting to see over the next, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years how that changes.
Awesome.
If you don't mind, I'd like to add on to that because it's ironic because you think about how long has the iPhone been out, right, and it revolutionized everything. So you're right, it is very hard to look into the future, and now we're sitting here on the edge of what we're calling wearables, right? Google Glass and Fitbit and all those things that everybody's wearing around their necks and their whatever it may be, right? And all these watches coming out, the iWatch is supposedly going to come out here soon. This is just an evolution, and you really don't know what's next and how you actually can tap into that wealth of kind of knowledge and technology that will be available on demand. And so I think that's going to be something that really kind of changes the world, but that's now. This is stuff we know now. What's going to happen a year or two from now?
That's great. I'm going to pick up on that point. Just before I do though, as much as we love that web streaming audience, thank you so much for joining us live online. But the point I was going to pick up on is you're kind of actually, a few things you mentioned. You just said something there, Keith, about the difficulty of looking ahead. And actually Rob was bringing up the privacy issues, and I think Matt was talking about security. What are the biggest challenges that you all need help with in bringing these visions you guys all kind of really looking forward to this future, but there's probably barriers you're going to have to overcome. So Matt, what are the biggest challenges you're going to deal with?
So there's a few. I mean, obviously consumer expectations, around native applications, pretty high, right? We all expect apps to be fast, to be seamless, to be cohesive, to be stable, to wow us, to surprise and delight us. Apps, iPhone and Android users that have very, very high expectations in terms of the performance of those particular products that they use. So the expectations of our customers is probably the number one thing that I think about. This is a panel a little bit about enterprise mobility as well, and it would probably be remiss to talk about the challenges of developing products and technology like this that have to interact so closely with enterprise systems. So that's an area that certainly is a tough one sometimes. And then I would say general awareness. We all probably support, build, develop, and have launched products that a lot of our customers really have no clue have the capabilities that we've actually brought to bear. So there's an awareness curve there that needs to, I think, take hold to help explain how some of these products can make consumers' lives easier, accomplish goals and tasks that formerly were harder to do just through the product that we all carry around in our pocket.
Great. Rob, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'm proud to say we have no barriers and challenges. No, actually, of course we do. But I think in addition to the ones that you named, being such a global international company, first of all, just the languages in the different countries that we deal in, having to build an application, a native app for each country is a huge benefit to each one of those customer experiences in that country, but it becomes very hard to scale. So building applications and mobile web experiences for each country, in addition to the fact that our products or services vary by country, right? So that is one of our biggest challenges. It creates a lot of complexity for us globally. And then also, transportation, as I mentioned before, can be kind of a complicated product to purchase, especially if you're creating a shipment as opposed to receiving it. And so, we're always very conscious of trying to keep it simple, but no matter how simple we make it, there's some complexity that's inherent in the process. So we're always trying to balance that as well.
I'll echo everything, right? The global, the customer expectations, I completely agree, and Rob and Matt nailed it. So I'll give you two specific things that are a little different, maybe from a hospitality perspective. One would be the cost of entry. And what I mean by that is with 4,700 hotels worldwide, if we want to connect to the Internet of Things, if you will, whether it be door locks to open your door with your mobile phone, or change the room temperature, the cost to actually change out that infrastructure is not trivial. And we don't even know what it's going to look like 2 years from now, so which hotel wants to go first? Because once they go first, now they're officially already outdated a year later. That is a big, big challenge for us. The other is the fragmentation of the technology on property. With 4,700 hotels, you can imagine that the technology in the property can vary based on the version numbers, if you will, the type of technology and the vendors use. So getting access to the technology, the systems, and the information on the property is another challenge for us. But I can't stress enough, if you think about this roadside hotel and somewhere in Idaho, for example, that wants to change out all their door locks for 200 rooms because we want to allow people to take their phone and open it. That is a very and a significant investment for that hotel owner, and that is the type of stuff that will really kind of create a great experience, but at the same time create a challenge for us to implement.
Yep. Great. Well, let me